Hi guys, this is Mattjestic Gaming here, and today we're going to bring you the second part of the beginner's guide for this part of the series. Now we have started the first part of the beginner's guide. This part of the beginner's guide, we're going to assume you know the basics. Now, as a beginner, you really want to get as many 2-stars as you can. This works well for advanced players, this works well for all players. Ooh. I did make a little mistake. I'm sure you guys would have seen it. I forgot to place my unit before the countdown ended. So notice the green countdown? It's gonna end once it goes to 0. And what that means is that you cannot place units down anymore. I'm gonna place this unit down. I'm gonna be buying this unit. The second thing, as a beginner player, you want to know this button over here. Notice how before we actually saw 3 tinkers, and without pressing this button, each starting round is going to change the units we have, and that's not that good for us. What does that mean? We could be locking this bar, so next round nothing changes. Why do we want to lock the bar? It's when we get more gold. Each round we gain gold. By having the gold, we can buy the units we want to keep, but we can't afford in this particular turn. So let me show you what happens when I lock it. This bar isn't going to change. Those units are going to stay the same. Let's see. See, nothing changed. We gain some gold, and we're going to buy this. We're going to buy this Ethereum. And notice each level you level up, you can place unit down. Now we can place 3 units down. Now you might be wondering, what are we going to be looking at in this part 2 of the beginner's guide? There's a few simple things we'll be looking at. One thing I want to show you guys is the druid combinations. The druids are the special ones that gives you a discount when you have different kind of druids on the table. I want to show you guys a few basic synergies that you really want to try out at the very start of your game, which are the goblins, the warriors, the druids, or maybe even the trolls. So let's see if we can get all of them. So, and yes, we can see the chat over here. The chat, we have some very sophisticated players, and they're pretty advanced, and they're a little too advanced for our current course. So very soon we'll be getting into the intermediate course for them. So we can see 2 enchanters here. Now, what I want to show you guys is, I want to show you guys a few different things. I want to show you guys, let's have a look at this druid synergy. This actually confused a lot of people very early because it didn't have a good explanation. When you have druids, basically think druids as the discount, they're like the $1, $2 shop. In the $1, $2 shop, you usually get discounts. When you have druids, you get discounts. Looking at over here, when you have 2 different druids, you can upgrade a druid to 2-star by only using 2 1-stars that are the same. So right now, this Train Protector is a druid, this Fury is a druid, and those Enchantress are druids. I have 2 of the same druids, and I have a different druid to the Enchantress. So what's going to happen is, I'll be placing the Enchantress down, and because I have a different druid to the Enchantress, they are going to combine with a discount. So I can place 1, I can place this down, and she's going to combine with 2. And this is the special thing I want to show you guys with druids. I can leave her up because I can put 4 units down, and I see another Enchantress. So in the early game, for most new players, what I want to show you guys is the power of a 2-star Enchantress. There's 2 great things about the Enchantress, which I'll touch upon. The first great thing is that she's one of the best early game healers. If you want a little healing lineup, if you want something that sustains, if you have a 2-star Enchantress before round 10, she can really do a lot of healing for you. Ooh, this is interesting. I'll touch on items very soon. And because druids comes at a discount, as we have noticed, they can actually get 2-star units very much quicker than most other players. So usually when we run 2 Enchantress, we'll be winning against most people, and that's very nice for us. And in this particular one, I want to show you how strong a healing Enchantress is. She's fighting 2 units, and she's almost sustaining herself against those 2 units, only because the 2 units had enough burst damage that she died, otherwise she would have survived. Now what I want to show you is the power of the druids again. We got 2 more Enchantress, we're going to put her down, and boom, we have another Enchantress that's 2-star. This is excellent display. 2 things I want to show you guys. One is optimizing for synergies. Here I have too many units. I have 3 warriors for the warrior synergy, I have 2 very good enchanters, but I'm out of time and I'm out of units. What I can do is I can level up while the bar is still green, I can level up while it's still yellow. I can level up once to level 5, because at the early levels you can spend only 5 gold to level up because it only requires a little bit of XP. Now, the power of early game enchantress is actually quite incredible, simply because heals do stack up, and if they don't die, they will be keep healing and your units won't be dying. And over here, most of my units actually gaining their life. This is very nice for a new player. What we're going to look at now is a Goblin synergy. We know the warriors gain armor when we have 3 warriors on the field. Right now we're going to look at the goblins. The goblins, unlike the warriors, they don't gain armor, but as mechs, they're going to gain regeneration. When you have 3 goblins, you're going to have a special randomness called the nanobot. When you have 3 goblins, a random ally is going to be buffed with 15 armor and 10 HP regeneration per second, and that's very strong before round 10. It can be even very strong up to round 15. So what I recommend we look at as a new player in the early game, you want some enchantress, you want 3 warriors, or you want the goblins. But keep in mind, you want to be constantly upgrading them to level to a 2-star instead of just keeping them as 1-star. Notice how they are winning against us because they are knights. Knights are great in terms of other things, like they're really tanky, they do a bit of damage, they can be healing. Knights are great all-rounders, but this downside to the knights is that they don't do much damage. Looking over here, this little guy is surviving longer than most because he had the Goblin nanobot buff on him. Now, what I also want to show you guys is the combination of units. Remember how we did say that we want to level up units? We just found 3 Tinkers, and now we're going to be leveled up the Tinker to level 2 or 2-star. So what this means is we're getting our lineup a little stronger. And for this particular part of the guide, after saying those things, what I really want to focus on is for the next part. So I'll be breaking this part as the second part of the replay to show you guys what are the strong units you should be looking for at the start of the game to help you to get into a nice mid-game. So the strong units you really want to look for are the druids, especially enchantress, because they're so easy to be combined. You want to look for goblins and you want to look for warriors, and those are the basic ones. In the next part of this particular guide, we'll be looking at a higher level for people who are in the knight range and people who are in about close to bishop range. This is very nice. This is the last thing we're going to touch on before we end this particular replay. So, in this particular guide, I want to show you guys the druid synergy again. In this particular druid synergy, we can see that when we have 4 druids, when we have 4 different druids, we can upgrade things to 3-star at a discount. What does this mean? That means you need 3 different druids to be placed on the field. After that, you can upgrade one of your druids that had 2-star. When you have 2 of the 2-stars, you can upgrade them into 3-star. And I'll show you guys after this round ends. And I do know that this might be some of the basics for most of us, but it did take me personally at least 1 day or 2 days to discover this actual druid synergy, because at the start of the game as a new player, I was reading and I didn't understand what they meant. Let's have a look here. I'm going to put 1 different druid down, 2 different druid, and 3 different druid. So I'm going to take those back. You can put them on, it's okay. So notice with 3 different druid, and this one makes a 4 druid. And instantly this was combined at a discount. So usually you need 3 of the same unit. You need 3 2-stars to get a 3-star. You need 3 1-star to get a 2-star. But here what we have is a discounted combination. So the druids really excel in the early game if you can get 2 different druids for the 2-star combination or 3 different druids for the 3-star combination. Looking at the units over here, as you can see, we have some nice early game units. And one thing I also want to point out is, regardless what units you have, you want to get most of your units to 2-star very quickly. We don't try to get units to 3-star because, think about this, usually units to 2-star, you only need 3 of them. To get a unit to 3-star, you need 9 of them, and it's very hard to find 9 of the same kind. It's really exhausting on your unit space, because you can only store up to 8 units. It's better to get most of your units to 2-star instead of trying to find a 3-star. I'm gonna end this part of the replay. Next part of the replay will go a little higher.